Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. Oh my gosh, Sagittarius, it's so great to be back. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I have been having these little moments in my life where I'm gone from the studio for like 2 or 3 days at a time. And I'll tell you what, I miss it. So I'm glad to be back. Let's see. So today we have the energy of the Three of Discs, which has everything to do with work. Right? Not just making money work, although probably that is a huge focus, right? It is for most of us who are in the working age group, which is most of your life, right? And so it could also be that this is stuff like working on the house, working on our relationships, our families, our cars, our projects, the things that exist in this material world, the things that, we kind of busy our time with. Our endeavors, man, our endeavors. Anyways, Sagittarius, I'm so happy to be here with you. I love you. I love you. I love you. And I hope you are having a most glorious day, evening. Maybe it's right in the morning when these usually premiere. We're going to have a good one. I know it. So let's go. All right, we're going to turn this thing. And you know what? I am in this fully rebellious spirit. I have to tell you. Summer has taken hold of this girl. And my rebellious spirit is, I'm not letting the state of the world drag me down. Which I understand is a very privileged place to be in, to be able to say that. Listen, we're all going through stuff, right? But I'm not going to squander my life being upset all the time. I'm upset enough with my own dealios, Here we go. We're going to lift this thing and take a look. So we're in this really weird place right now, collectively, globally. And let's just be real. I think a lot of us have mucho anxiety. Lots of anxiety. Can you tell I watched Clueless with my daughter this weekend? All this not this weekend, this week, I guess. It's been the week. It's all coming back to me. I grew up in California in the era of Clueless, although I'm from NorCal, so just remember that. They're two different places, SoCal and NorCal. Oh, right. Let's see. So I just like to turn this thing and kind of get a look at all the different scenarios and formations that we're looking at. So I want to start. We have the Emperor down here. Okay, we also have, look at this, it looks almost like a fish with a top hat and the little eyes and the little mustache, and this is so to me, it's almost like the Monopoly Man, right? It's like this, like Mr. Peanut, like some gentleman, Wall Street money-making dude. And the fish represents resources, okay? So when I see a fish on here, if it's the face of the thing, if it's the body of the thing, like this one up here, look at this. This is the fish. Here's the tail. This tells me it's about finances. It's about trying to make that money. Maybe you have started a new endeavor, a new company, side hustle. Maybe you're getting into some gig work. I know. I'm going to do the It's not. It's a lot, right? When you're working like 3 gigs, trying to, scrape up that rent money. I get it. You're listening to a long-time food industry girl here. Restaurants, waitressing mostly, some back of the house. So I know. not only that, then, you're working at all these other places or delivering food or, whatever. It's a lot. We live in a world where we're supposed to be like 80 different things in any given day, right? And it is a lot. And a lot of us are getting into that burnout zone, right? And I feel that as I'm looking at this, we have the Emperor, we have the money. I just absolutely, Sagittarius, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm trying to work this out because this feels even more like it should be Capricorn, but it must be Sagittarius because that's who I'm reading for. But there's this sense of really being drawn to an archetype of, being a leader, being the manager, being the boss, being the owner, being in charge of people. You're somebody who I think you're very motivated, not by, it is power, ultimately, stripped down to some degree, right? Some perception of control within our lives. But I think that you like to be able to have these kinds of interactions where you are sorting things out with people. You are delegating and managing and being able to communicate in a way that you're seeing good output. Now, I'm not a good leader. I'm not a good boss. I'm kind of that, you better do it. And then 2 seconds later, I'm like, oh, that's good. You did enough. Let's go have a little sit for a minute, Not me, not good boss at all. But some people are. And I find that to be something that I'm in awe of. I have a young daughter in my life right now. She's young. She thinks she's 20. She's 5. And I'm around a lot of kids. I do, a lot of activities. I'm all about that mom life. I know I never thought I would be, but here I am, and I'm fully embracing soccer mom life, right? And I'm always in awe when I encounter another parent that can just get in there and round these kids up. They all listen. They all enjoy, whatever they're doing. I know a couple of teachers who are, also moms and stuff. And watching them work with these kids is awe-inspiring. And I think you have that same ability. Now, it might not be with kids. It might be with adults or the elderly, animals, whatever it is. I feel that this is something that has always been kind of a goal. Now, here's the deal, though. I don't think that you have found the fulfilling position yet. And I don't know that you've ever been aggressive about going for these kinds of raises or positions or taking that leap of faith and starting that business. But with the Emperor showing up in that work energy, I feel like you maybe are at a point where, and I see the word cry up here, C-R-Y. I feel like for you, this is it. This is your chance. And I feel like that is kind of back up against the landscape of things being kind of tough right now. I don't know about you, but I'm unfortunately one of these kinds of people that sometimes things have to get pretty broke down for me to be like, oh no, I gotta fix this, or oh no, oh wait a second, I gotta get moving because all of a sudden, I've lost my income, or I'm not getting as many hours, or the business I've worked at for 15 years, the restaurant's going out of business, and these things happen, and all of a sudden you're like, okay. And I know, I'm just sitting here staring at the wall. Okay, what do we do? And you jump into action. Well, listen, I'll be honest with you. My husband and I, shout out to my husband over at Dove and Serpent Tarot. Of course, we never thought we were going to become content creators and, doing readings professionally, although we did readings beforehand. We never thought that this was, I don't know, maybe he had thought of it, but I never had. Never in my life. Well, we had a daughter. And then that thing hit where we couldn't leave the house. And the world got a little bit like, what's going to happen here? And so we started our channels. And, thank God, and God willing, it still keeps going, right? And it took hold. Now, I'm not saying it was that simple. A lot of work goes into these things, but sometimes, right, we're motivated by that, like, oh my gosh, I got to figure this out right now because, yeah. So I feel like there is that anxiety, and I'm going to be honest about that. But listen, I think that this is going to be that time in your life where you really, really surprise yourself. Okay, so I'm looking at this and it looks like it says, I'm trying to, I feel like it says book. B-O-O-K. This is also a house. We have, it looks like it maybe like a grandmother figure here. Here's the head, seated. It looks like maybe like a rocking chair. Ooh, my elbow just slipped. Let's see. Lion. Right up here. Here's the face, eyes, nose. So we have a predator. We have the house, we have the grandmother. So I almost feel like this is, to me, it feels like family fighting, arguing, conflict over, and I'm imagining that this is something that is around when a mother figure, a grandmother figure, something like this, a caretaker, an auntie, whoever it was, when they passed away, I feel like it really ripped apart the family because now we have some that got closer, and this looks like a little, it reminds me of Chester Cheeto face. Here are the eyes, the nose, the little mouth, and it looks like he has like a little cool goatee. These are his these are his ears right in here. Let me get my stick. I always forget about that thing. Over here, also looks like it has a bit of a tear. So I feel like this is almost like maybe you were in charge, maybe you were just involved, but there almost seems like you have like maybe one sibling or cousin or, somebody in your peer group. They feel around the same age as you. And then, and this person I feel like you're good friends with. You trust them, you grew up together, you know that they are moved by their heart, not their greed. But then you have another one up here, okay? And this one is out to get all of grandma's best antiques. They're trying, and I'm thinking in my head, this is either a sister or a sister-in-law. And I almost wonder if it's an in-law that has been in the family for many years. So they are very much a part of the family. There's no question about that. They're not like a total outsider, but they're also, they didn't grow up with y'all, you know what I mean? Like they behave differently, they move differently, and it's very apparent, especially when they're scrambling to get as much as they can out of this situation. And I feel like for you, this has been utterly disheartening, completely ridiculous. Hands in the air, walking away. I don't want to be involved in this anymore. That's the feeling. Now, I feel that this is something that has already come to pass. And maybe we're coming up on the anniversary, and this is why this is coming up. Now, this was a terrible situation. It does not feel good when these things happen, and unfortunately, this happens more than we would like to admit. Think about any of your friends in your life. Think about any time they've lost their parents or, their grandparents or whoever in the family, and think about the fallout, right? The just bad behavior that seems to rise when people are going through grief, but they also know there might be something there for them to, take from the situation. So I do feel like the aftermath of this is feeling less close to the people that you love. And now we have a person standing here holding, and it looks like a child, a baby. We also have the tower, okay? But then here, and all I can see is it looks like a little hill with a great big flower growing on it. So to me, it really feels like you've turned towards your close family unit, probably one of your children, or maybe this is your parent. Maybe you've really gotten close with mom or dad. But I do feel that maybe you're in a place where you're looking at this moment in your life where you lost somebody you really loved. This is our tower moment. And then you kind of, in a way, lost these other family members because of the way that they behaved. And I don't think that there's like some kind of huge resentment, but I do feel like you were kind of naturally repelled from wanting to be around them, wanting to see them. And I think in this last year, you've spent a lot of time developing other parts of your life. Friendships, work, staying by the house, doing your stuff at home, being with your kids, being with your spouse or animal companions or garden or, whatever it is, your hobbies. And I feel that you are blooming. Now, I do also feel a guilt. And I think that's the big thing here is you are doing better. You're doing better than you have in a long time. And yes, there are some fears about the world, fears about money, but you're motivated and you know your power. And in this last year of, I feel like kind of breaking away from how things used to be, you have realized, that there is a freedom in setting boundaries and not putting up with certain kinds of behaviors. I feel like you've really started to show up for you. You've said no, maybe for the first time in your life. And if you have not yet, I get it. I'm really good at just avoiding things. For a long time in my life, I did not know how to say no to people. Now I love it. I love saying no. I love it. I relish it. It makes me just absolutely excited to say, no. No, I'm kidding. I do like saying no, though. The relief of it, And so I do feel like, yes, you have been showing up for yourself and it feels good. 2025, I'm really dubbing this the year that we stop abandoning ourselves. Sagittarius and every other sign, right? We are done with all of that. We are done with neglecting ourselves. We are done with abandoning ourselves. We are done with prioritizing people who don't give a squat about us. Not really. Oh no, baby, we're taking back our power, and I can feel that. And you are putting that into your physical realm right now. You are putting that into the material world with which you dwell. And you, my love, you're doing an amazing job. I feel so lighthearted. I have to tell you, I came into my studio thinking, I really hope that we have pleasant readings because I have been feeling some deep anxiety since I woke up. And this reading has broken through all of that. It feels being next to your power, I mean, really, your power, which is like being next to a nice roaring fireplace on a cold night. It has broken through that anxiety because I know you are in your confidence right now. Okay, so I feel there's somebody that, and I feel like this is a good friend. I feel like this is somebody you have an established relationship with. Now we have a person with their dog, with the dog. Now, I'm not saying that this is an animal companion because the dog really represents the protector, the companion. Now, the dog is in a relaxed posture and it's facing the human. Here's the head, the arms, and the legs. Now this is the dog. The head is facing the human, and it looks like more of a loving, playful stance. If the dog was facing outwards and in like its mouth was open, or it was in a kind of like a fighting stance. And I know you're like, these are tea leaves, Lenor. Come on, lady. They do. Things really, really come through very clearly sometimes, and you'll have to watch more readings if you want to. The dogs show up a lot. The barking dogs, the mean dogs sometimes too, but those represent the protector. So this case, this is a more pleasant friendship experience, I believe, and I feel that in this time of freedom and transformation for you, I see you really reconnecting with them. Really reconnecting. Now, I also feel that through this connection, there seems to be kind of a rekindling of a passion that feels like maybe some kind of hobby, interest, sport maybe that you played. And I see you returning to this. I feel you coming out of this wilderness that you maybe have been in, at least a little bit. I feel like at times you felt like unfocused, like you're just trying to survive the day, that you haven't had time to contemplate these things or what you might like to do next or this or that. And listen, I understand. We're all very busy, tired. A lot of us are walking around with broken hearts and trauma and, desires unfulfilled and wanting and all of these kinds of confusion and whatever. A lot of us, we're walking around with, not one of these things, all of these things going all at the same time. And yet we find a way to make something for ourselves. We find a way to express ourselves. We find a way to have meaningful connections, relationships that run deep, to be there for ourselves and for those that we care for. And I feel like you are figuring this out. You are evolving as a being. I feel that you are coming into a place that has a little more ease, less anxiety. I feel you unplugging from a lot of things. I've seen a lot of people, and I myself, I don't do a lot of personal social media. I like Tumblr because, I just like to look at art and repost things. I like Reddit because it's anonymous. I don't know anybody on there personally. I mean, if I do, I don't know it's them. And things like Facebook and stuff, which I don't even know. It looks like a freaking ad flea market whenever you open that place. But it just sucks away so much of our time. It gives us so many reasons to feel bad about ourselves, about our lives, about other people. I think a lot of us are starting to unplug more and more. And I know I'm here, I'm making content on the internet. Listen, girl, guy, I grew up on the internet. I mean, half of my life, right? So it's so useful. I'm not down on the internets or any of the social medias, really. But sometimes we need a break. Too much information. It's an overload. I've been really into watching things, listening to things about upping our ability to memorize and recall stuff. Really working on the plasticity of our brain and our neural pathways and, all these things because, I've been on a journey for my physical well-being, but also, I find that there's so many times I have so much going on from the morning that I wake up at, 4:45, 5 a.m. in the morning, and I'm going to bed, at like 10, 11 o'clock at night. There's so much going on, right? I always joke with my husband. We have like 3 or 4 days within our day, which, I'm no unique case. All of us are living like this pretty much, right? And so, to add these layers of just so much emotional pulling, mental gymnastics, and, so on and so forth, it's a lot. We need more quiet time. We need more contemplation without stimuli. What does that mean? It's not just meditation. I mean, listen, not just. Meditation's in its many forms. It's many ways to do it. It's not easy, especially with the way our brains are now, right? Very quick moving, looking for input, stimuli, more information constantly. So when we come into these places where we're just sitting there, we get uncomfortable. Don't you feel uncomfortable when you're like in a doctor's office and you're not on your phone? Everybody else is. I don't think they have magazines anymore, so there's nothing to look at like that. And, you're just kind of sitting there. And you start to feel like, I feel like, what if people notice I'm just sitting here by myself? I'm not doing anything. I must look like a weirdo. I don't know. I'm shifting around. I'm playing with my, refolding the crease in my pants and this and that and, what's in my pockets? And yeah. It's a lot. It's a storm in your head. And so working on, being more comfortable with these times. Being that person that's sitting at the park staring at the pond with the ducks and stuff, and being just in it. It's a treat. It is a treat to let yourself not look, right? Not open the phone up, check in on all the apps. How many apps do I got to check? How many emails do I need to delete? Oh, Lord. But so I do. I feel like we're shedding, we're resorting, we're reprioritizing, and we are showing up for ourselves this year, aren't we? We're halfway through, almost. It's almost Christmas. And oh my gosh. And I say Christmas because I'm in America. We really kind of celebrate Saturnalia here in my house. But 78, first lucky number. But yeah, it's already coming up to that time of it's like 99 degrees here today. 97, 78, 97. Very hot, very humid, and lush. But yeah, it's going to be the new year soon. 45. All right. Let's see. We're going to do our wild bohemian affirmation card. So I've been working on a book, you guys, and I'm really excited about it's not a novel, and it's a book of shadow work prompts that I've been doing myself. I mean, this is my own course that I'm doing on myself, right? And I'm compiling the ones that I feel have been very important for me. And so I'm super excited. I'm hoping to have that done by, August. I'm going to flip through, stop where it feels right. Number 8, I am free. I am free. Abundance is a very natural state of being. Wild flowers will always bloom. Wild flowers will always bloom. It's amazing the things that we call weeds. Wherever you are, there's always going to be, hopefully, God willing, plants indigenous to the area. They're often drought resistant. Whatever your environmental factors, that's what they're there for. They have long, beautiful roots when you pull them out. They're supposed to be there, right? And they always show back up, no matter what you do. I love that. I love that about, dandelions. We have a lot of plantain in my yard, and, my neighbors are always fighting it. And I live out in the country, so I always think it's really funny. I live around a lot of retired people who spend a lot of time trying to get their yards perfect, which I think is wonderful. But we all have huge lawns. And I said, baby, we're going to let the natural plants come back in here because they don't die off. You don't have to be out there messing with them constantly because they're supposed to be here. They're supposed to be here. All right. Was that the end? Sagittarius, I love you. Thank you for being here with me. It's always such a pleasure. If you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you. Other than that, I think we're gonna hit it. We're gonna hit the road here. All right. I love you. I know I've been silly today. I don't know. I made the decision, at least for right now, in this moment. I'm not gonna let things bother me. I don't want to get all twisted up in my feelings. I'm going to have a good day. I hope you do too. I love you. I love you. I love you. Good night.